Investor sentiment clearly has picked up when the market is up, the CSI 300 index up 13% since February 1st. That's good. Again, the questions still remain around fundamentals. But property, you mentioned it in the beginning one, we're seeing the fundamentals there are not improving. What would you want to hear from any potential meeting that is happening in Beijing right now about property rescue measures and how much that's going to potentially cost the local governments as well as the central government and the banks?
Yeah. So I think fundamentally, there are supply and demand side of the issue. For the demand side, the key is to make property desirable again, right? Because for the past few years, with this properties for living, not for speculation, home prices been falling, and people are not going to buy a depreciating asset, right? So the key is to change the expectation to make people have the confidence on property price that is going to stabilize or even have room for long-term appreciation. Now, that probably need a strong momentum in terms of a package of policies. In the past 2-3 years, we've seen a lot of piecemeal easing, which is not helping, which didn't help, right? So this time, hopefully, we can create enough momentum to make people want to buy property again. And then on the supply side, the destocking measures, I think is a great initiative, but really, like you said, come down to how much funding. Who's going to pay for that?
Right.
Now, if we're hearing that commercial banks providing loan, that's fine, but who's borrowing? Is that some central entity or is that local government LGFV? Because if it's local government LGFV, then I worry that the scale, the speed of execution will still be constrained because we all know the physical constraint and the debt issues of some local governments.
And so when it comes to how you look at stocks, I mean, is it still, you look at it all in one consumption sort of downgrade, or can you actually find and divorce the property story with the rest of the consumption story?
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, we did publish a report on the smart consumer story. So, it's true that property price is going down, which has some negative effect on the on the consumer confidence, right? So people have become more selective in terms of what they are paying, where they are spending the money. There is the consumption downgrade trend, but we also highlight that household overall balance sheet remain quite solid, right? So people have the ability and willingness to pay for products or services that can make them feel good or provide functional value. So you need to have a value proposition, right? Either emotional value, make them feel good, healthcare beauty product, alcohol, snow sports were super popular last year, right? And that's not a cheap sport, right? Or you provide functional value, right? So online education, people still want to pay, right? Or low sugar drinks, right? Healthy drinks. Otherwise, you provide value for money. That's a consumption downgrade.